Hello guys and welcome to my newest week video in which I will review the changes made by Riot for the patch 15.7 and see what's going on. I wanted to post the Warwick build guide video today, but I had to realize that I do not have any footage of Warwick gameplay to play it in the background while I'm talking about builds and stuff. And when I wanted to record it, I had to realize that okay, there's a new patch, so I cannot access the replays of the previous patch. And I didn't want to leave you guys without content any longer. Because of that, I'm making this review. This will be the first review for me as well. I haven't checked these things out yet because last week I was busy when we got the preview. So now let's see the actual patch notes. And we are starting with Brand. So because of the heavy jungle nerfs Brand received in the past, now Riot is trying to buff him and make him a viable jungle once again. They are buffing his passive, it looks like. So Brand jungle is pretty much the B tier champion right now, at least in the jungle. Damage cap got slightly increased against monsters, and I do not think that this is a massive buff for Brand. It will definitely help him, but I don't think that this is enough to make him A tier jungler. So most likely he will stay in the B tier, but I will release an updated tier list for this patch as well, for the best junglers, both for the lower ranks and for the higher ranks as well. If you are not subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out my tier list for this patch coming this week as well. Next is Darius jungle, and he is receiving a nerf to his armor. His E cooldown will be increased. The slightly nerf on his armor will definitely hurt him, both in the jungle and on top lane as well, because I think that Darius is pretty strong right now, both on top lane and in jungle. He used to be broken in the jungle and he's pretty alright on top lane. So this change that his E cooldown got increased, I don't think that this will affect him that much, simply because the cooldown on his E is already so long. So if they really want to hurt Darius jungle, they have to nerf his damage to monsters. Or if they want to nerf Darius overall, they have to touch his base stats, like his armor, like they are doing right now. Or they have to change, let's say, the cooldown or the damage on his Q. That way you can really hurt Darius. But I don't think that these extra 2 seconds on his E, when it's already a really long cooldown, that will affect him at all. Probably it will affect him slightly, but it's nothing crazy. Gwen is too strong after her 15.6 changes. Yeah, I totally agree on that. So because of that, they are nerfing her Q and they are nerfing her W as well. I would have to check this, but isn't this just pretty much reverting the previous buff she got last patch? I'm pretty sure this is just pretty much Riot reverting the buffs she received, but this doesn't seem like too big of a deal on her Q, neither on her W, but we will see. I don't expect this to be that big of a change, so it won't affect her that much. Maybe she will see a 0.34% change in her win rate, but nothing crazy. Ivern is weak, especially in the early game. We are looking to buff up his ability to make early plays to make him more attractive as a pick, especially for skilled players. And because of that, they are buffing his Q. They are buffing his Q root duration. What is going on? Why are they buffing his root duration? I don't get this one. If you really want to buff Ivern, then let's buff his shield. Let's make him better at what he's good at already. And he's good at shielding and pinning his teammates. So why we don't make him even better at that? This root duration is really scary in my eyes. Because if you just increase his root duration, that's like really insane. Because he uses it during his ganks, he uses it in skirmishes, he uses it in team fights as well. So having this root duration is just crazy to me. If they really want to make Ivern good without making him super broken, this is a really bad approach. And mark my words, people are gonna find out that this is too much of a buff for him, and Riot will look to nerf him next patch or the patch after. I think that this root duration increase is the wrong approach, because we already have a lot of CC in the game, and we cannot really buy that much tenacity anymore. What we used to get, like they just removed or just nerfed a lot of tenacity items and reduced the tenacity on many items. There's already too much CC in the game, I feel like. And if they just buff the root duration, this is just really bad. Because I already feel like that most of the time you have to buy mercs on most gems unless you are someone like an AD carry who benefits a lot from having Berserker Graves, or you are an AP champion who benefits a lot from having Sorcerer Shoes, then you're pretty much almost always gonna buy mercs unless you get better value from having plated steel caps, right? So I think that this change is a bad approach to buffing Ivern, but we will see. I don't mind Ivern being like decent or like good at the high ranks because he already is pretty much a high elo only champion, but he's already super annoying that he can invade you early on because of how he works with extra root and stuff combined with Daisy, how his Q works. This is just scary in my eyes. So next is Lillia, and she had a bug last patch, but Riot managed to fix. Since then, her win rate actually skyrocketed, or like at least increased. I think because they fixed the bug, that was the main reason why her win rate went up so much in the first place. They're pretty much taking away the AP ratio, or more like they are decreasing the AP ratio on her E by 10%. It's not that crazy. The cooldown change is still live. This is overall just a good change for Lillia, and this definitely, despite these nerfs, the fact that she doesn't have that bug anymore and that she received a buff as well last patch, not just a bug fix, this is overall good for her. And that 10% on her E won't do too much anyway when you are usually using your E anyways only to land it on several people and try to ult them. So like it's whatever. This won't matter that much. So next is Naafiri, and I even made a short about that she is super broken and she is super good right now. So Riot wants to stop that and make her slightly weaker. Let's see, what are the nerfs? Base stats, health gonna go down, armor gonna go slightly down as well. Damage to monsters will go down by 10%. Damage to minions will go up, trying to make lane Naafiri better. And then let's see, W cooldown will be slightly changed as well. So early on, the W cooldown will be increased, but when the W is maxed, then it will be unchanged. And lastly, a bug fix. These are the changes I really enjoy seeing because they are nerfing stats and make already stat checky champions worse or better. This is what a good change is in my eyes. And I really like this. Like there's nothing much to say here. I don't think that this will kill Naafiri jungle or anything like that. She will still be viable, but she will be somewhat weaker, and we have to wait a few days to actually see how much this will affect her, but probably not by too much, and we will see. Because she used to be broken, so even if she loses like a 2% win rate, it won't do too much to her because she was that broken in the jungle. So now his E-cast time scares with attack speed. This is really nice. I like this change to Olaf. And yeah, this was a thing for Olaf even before his rework. Like this always used to be a thing with Olaf that you pretty much always used your E when you wanted to finish your target. Basically, you use this ability to finish your target. You didn't use it before because it would interrupt your auto attack flow, and you really didn't like that. So this is a really nice change for him, and I really like this. These are the changes we need. These like small change, but this is pretty much a quality of life change, which I don't mind. So next is Shaco, and AP Shaco is already pretty strong, but AD Shaco has been lagging behind. The damage will be increased, the AD ratio will be increased on his passive, And this will be a really small change, really small buff. That 5% bonus AD. And let's see his Q. Again, 5%. The base stats are the same. This will not affect Shaco at all. I mean, in the sense that he will still go AP. That's his best build. He will keep going AP Shaco. I mean, everyone who plays Shaco will still go AP because that build is just better. So there's no reason, even after these buffs, to go AD Shaco really. Trundle has received a lot of changes that skewed him towards lower MMR, and we don't believe he needs to be so skewed, bringing back some of his pillar power to buff up the most skilled troll players. So the slow will be increased, the cooldown I guess will be decreased. This is a nice change. I don't think that this will be enough to bring him back into the meta, but it's definitely a nice change and I don't mind that. We will see how this will affect him. I don't expect this to be that big of a change. It's nice. I want to see another buff to this guy just to make it even more viable, but we will see. And this alone will make him even better supportive jungler, I guess, because he will help his team with his pillar whenever he's ganking or whenever there's a fight breaking out to catch people. But besides that, it's nothing crazy. It won't solve his core problem that he's really a situational pick. He can be picked every game, especially when there aren't that many tank champions in the enemy team. He's struggling against range comps as well, so those problems still exist. And for that, they would have to buff his W at least to slightly help him out. But anyway, moving on to Volibear. Okay, so they are buffing Volibear and they are trying to make AD Volibear a little bit better. This is a nice change, won't affect him too much. And this is a bigger change for top lane Volibear, I would say, because if they want a sustained combat, you can only achieve that on top lane pretty much, because if you are playing in a jungle, then you gank, burst down your opponent, you finish your target who is already low on HP, and then you get out. That's just pretty much like bursting down someone and then getting out and then going back doing your own thing as a jungler. What's going with Yorick here? Umbral Glave change. What's this? Total gold cost, so 100 gold cheaper, 5 AD extra, blackout cooldown increased by 40 seconds. Is this even a buff, guys? What's going on? Before I go to Yorick, I just wanted to see if there's anything else interesting which would be important for us junglers, but I only see this change. That the cooldown is going up by 40 seconds. This is crazy. 40 seconds extra cooldown. This is this is too much, guys. I'm sure this is still a buff, but I'm not sure if junglers will start buying this item because of that 40 seconds. Like right now, the only champion who is buying this item is Pyke. No one else really. And even Pyke would prefer buying an item with slightly worse stats if he gets the 50-second cooldown on the item instead of 90. Like, I don't think that he's happy that, okay, his item got cheaper, or the cheap item got slightly cheaper and got 5 AD, but the cooldown is almost doubled. So I don't think that this will be enough to make junglers start building this item again, especially assassin junglers, but even someone like Graves used to build this item. But we will see. Like, they can increase the cooldown if they don't want Pyke to build this item, but not by 40 seconds. Let me read through the changes and let me tell you guys a TLDR what's going on with this Yorick change. Okay, so they are pretty much making some quality of life changes to Yorick, trying to make him feel better to play, but I still think that will remain a boring champion unless you're a Yorick OTP. I'm sorry, but this champion is just boring and they are trying to make him feel slightly better. And that's the TLDR while making a lot of stat changes to his abilities. Pretty much that's it. So, though nothing much will happen here, it will feel slightly better to play him. but still remains the same good old champion. And if you didn't have any fun playing him before these changes, I guarantee you that you won't have any fun playing him after these changes either. This was my patch 15.7 preview from a jungle perspective. I hope you found it helpful. See you all in my next video, which will probably be my updated jungle tier list for this patch.